I now have the ultimate privilege of inviting TK Ramesh, Managing Director, Ace Designers Limited, to the stage for the keynote address.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for that rousing welcome. Thank you for that introduction. I don't know how much of that is me, but thank you anyway. Distinguished guests, honorable policymakers, whoever are present here, industry leaders and colleagues, partners, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute honor to be here and to deliver this keynote address at the Aerospace and Defence Manufacturing Conclave. As I was talking to many of you a little while ago before this all began, looking at the aerospace and the defense industry and the moment we are in.
So this is the sectors that we are talking about today. For these sectors, there are certain distinct core competencies required, which is different from an automotive sector, which is high volume business versus the aerospace business, which is different. So I call this like a circle of compliance, and I say the machine is the last part that comes into the picture. When you have an aerospace component that you want to manufacture, one of the first thing that comes in is the application, the programming, know-how, how you are going to make that machine. You are given a solid block of aluminum or any other exotic material, how you are going to carve out the material to make that component. The first thing you require is the application know-how, the software and the programming skill. Then comes the complex geometries of that part. So you need a variety of softwares, an ability to use those softwares to figure out how you are going to make the part with the least amount of scrap or the least amount of wastage. So that comes into the play. Then you have the tooling.
Now we have an interesting topic, starting with the firepower itself. With this panel, I hope we will create some fire, right? We got the right set of people. I'm the youngest in this. We got a really energetic team with us.
When we go to the shop floor for an MSME, the shop floor is very controlled and is more accountable because the person who's actually making the decision is the one standing near the machine and also looking at the output. So if there's a quality issue that comes up for a machine or a part, the process is immediately fixed and it doesn't need to go through multiple layers to change the decision or take a new quality call, because that is what happens in the legacy startups.
Coming to us basically.
And you can leave your company. I'm talking from an overall industry.
Yeah, so basically what we have seen globally and in India also, the startups and the MSMEs basically have the agility to do things which large legacy companies cannot do. I mean, I don't say it in a bad way, but it's basically, sort of there are a lot of processes, decision-making, approvals. As Sayam was mentioning that, the entire family is on the shop floor taking decisions. Similar is the case with the startups and MSMEs in India that we see. They are able to move fast, provided if they have the right backing, right support, they'll be able to do wonders. But as we know the story that, startups require funding to last, and every month is like basically paycheck to paycheck. And, though they have the agility, the nimbleness to do things, still there is this sort of, gray area which needs to be addressed in the Indian context, especially.
One is on paper and one is the reality. See, Shinto, for anything to have a meaningful collaboration, what is important is that we have to expect, one thing is very important, see, innovation or collaborations cannot happen after design. If anything is happening after design, then it's procurement. It's basically, it's a procurement or it's a part of a supply chain. For collaboration, 3 phases are very important. One, the MSMEs has to be the part of a co-designing. That is very important. Second important aspect is having that shared risk or reward thing. MSMEs have to be a part of it. You can't put the toolings and all the other development part on the MSME and expect them to be your collaborative partners or your innovative partners per se.
So actually, it's a very interesting question where company has to go to the strategic level. What is core competence in the company cannot be outsourced to a consultant. A consultant can be a catalyst, he can be an enabler, but he cannot be the driver of the business, which means that the ownership of the business remains with the company. However, to initiate it, to accelerate it, we can use consultants. So this is one point. The second point is there is a fixed time frame and scope in which a consultant has to be engaged. So which means that there should be an engagement start date and there should be an engagement end date, which means that there should be somebody in the company itself who is working very closely with the consultant, so that when the consultant exits, there is somebody to take care of whatever he has given is absorbed in the company or not.
I think there is a new model that is emerging. So first of all, consultants are required and are vital in many, many situations. And I have also worked with many leading global consultants. So one model that is emerging is success-based fee. In the past, a consultant would just give a PowerPoint and say that's a PowerPoint and that's it, and then they would leave. And then the execution is left to the team, and whether it happens or not happens. Sometimes the numbers shown by the consultant are unachievable, etc. So more and more companies now are having success-based consultancies, particularly for the big four consulting firms that we talk about.
This session